Hi, happy Friday, everybody. So glad you're with us. Just to let you know, this is a recorded conversation, so we're not live today. Just because we have a special guest that I'm going to bring on a little bit later, but we wanted to welcome you. And we also want to let you know There's No Crying in Crochet. I always do this. We are the podcast that brings everyday frustrations, and we hope we're giving you some answers for them. So if you have questions or any kind of things that you would like to talk about or learn about, shoot us an email, give us a message, leave a comment on one of the videos, and we will definitely explore that area for you. I am Biz from Busy Crochet, and this is my cohort.
This is Deb from Madam Stitch.
I know I get us so out of rhythm, don't I? But we are super happy that you're here with us this week because we're going to have some fun. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you are subscribing to both of our YouTube accounts. Deb is at Madam Stitch Crochet, and I am at Busy Crochet. We're constantly trying to upload new things. I've been a little slow because I've been in college, but Deb, I know she's constantly putting stuff up, and she's got a great channel going. So
Cranking.
following her. And then also, if you are following us on Facebook, make sure that you give StreamYard the permission to have your name shown if you leave a comment, so that we can see who was here and who was leaving comments with us. But other than that, I want to introduce today's guest. Today is
drum roll.
Yes. It is Erin from Juniper and Oaks. She is so much fun, and she is like the mosaic guru. And we're touting her as that because we've decided she is the mosaic guru, because she really does have her finger on the pulse of what's going on in the mosaic world. So, with no further ado, let us bring her aboard, Miss Erin. And we're looking
Yay! We're just going to move you around the screen until we get you where, right?
Go in a circle. So thank you so much for joining us today, Erin. It is exciting to have you here and just have a chit chat with you, because we get the chance to watch what you're doing from the outside without really, being in the middle of it. And you are really making waves, I would think, just because you've got some really cute ideas and designs.
Aw, thank you. It's great to be on here with you guys. I've known both of you separately, and it's fun to talk to you guys together today. I'm just excited to chat with your people about mosaic crochet and all things yarn.
And I know mosaic is getting very, very popular. What is your response on your end?
Yeah, my audience has fallen in love, and I've really even built more of an audience around my mosaic crochet. I am hesitating because I'm like answering a billion questions all at one time. But one thing I love about crochet is that there are so many different techniques and so many different stitches to learn. And that's why I loved, when I became a designer, like just learning new stitches and then teaching them to other people. So I didn't necessarily like go in it intend to like focus on mosaic crochet, because I just usually can't focus on anything because I'm like, oh, what about this and this and this and this. But I fell in love with mosaic, and I know my audience did too, and they're just craving more and more and more.
That's awesome.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we do as designers. We start out by crocheting all the things.
Yeah.
And as time goes by, we start to figure out, A, what we love the most, and B, what everybody else loves the most. And those things kind of come together, and we find our small little corner in the crochet world. And mosaic just happens to be where you landed.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
No, that's awesome. So just so that our people can kind of get to know who you are, can you give us a little bit of information, like who are you, where are you from, any family information you're comfortable sharing with us, just so we can kind of get to know who Erin from Juniper and Oaks is?
Sure. Yep. So my name is Erin Taves. It looks like you're pronounced, or it looks like it's toes, but it's pronounced Taves. That's just always one fun fact about me. I respond to whatever. But currently I live in Knox. Oh, sorry, what?
Doctor visits have to be fun.
Oh yeah. All right. Like, I respond to everything. I am currently living near Knoxville, Tennessee. We've lived here for about 5 years. Originally, I'm from South Dakota, so that's home. But I'm developing my own little community here.
Mm.
I am married. We've been married for just about 13 years, and we have 3 kids.
Cool.
My kids are pretty young. They're the oldest is 8, 5, and then 3. And so I just am a self-proclaimed hot mess mama who just kind of
I love it.
started my
So
business.
relatable.
Yeah, it's just I'm work from home and my kids are home. The ones who are not in school, I don't homeschool or anything, but they're just always around in the background. I recently shared this reel where it was like, the most common question I get as a designer is, how do you get so much done with all those little kids around? And then it's this video of my kids like interrupting, inserting themselves into my video.
Yeah.
They're just always there. It's chaos. I am a registered nurse, but around COVID time, I also had my last 2 babies. And so we just decided it was better for my family to stay home with them. And then kind of Juniper and Oaks blossomed. And who knows?
Cool.
I just keep on thinking, I got to go back into nursing. But then I'm also like, no, I love what I'm doing here. And
what I'm doing. Yeah, I know. It's really hard.
Yeah. So, and I'm helping a lot of people through crochet. So I think, this might be it for me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. I love that. I did the same thing. I'm having a hard time deciding on whether I want to really, really pour myself into the crochet, or I went back to college to go for graphic design, and now do I want to do that? So, how about Debbie?
Well, you guys haven't figured out what you want to do when you grow up, right? So, and we never grow up, because I'm proof of that, because I had a long, long professional music career, and now I've got a second career. So
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Debbie's really digging into hers. She's busy, busy, busy all the time.
Well, enough about me, Biz.
Yeah, this is my podcast.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. All right. So, Erin, I always love this story about how your crochet business started. So you gave us a little glimpse of that in your conversation just now, but what kind of got you into actually designing patterns and deciding, okay, I would like to sell, I would like to create a business? How did that happen?
Yeah. So, I guess that goes back to, start at the beginning. I learned to crochet when I was really young. Like I would say 8 years old. I'm not really sure, but my mom taught me to crochet. She would do like rag rugs and make scarves for us for school, because we lived in South Dakota and we just needed, stay warm. And I just would always sit beside her and, they taught me how to crochet. Then I would forget and she'd teach me again and But in high school, my friend, she would knit and crochet, and we started a little club, and that really got
awesome.
That really got me like fully immersed into crochet, and I never forgot how to do it since then. And went on to college and taught friends how to crochet so we could make blankets while watching Gilmore Girls instead of studying,
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it just slowly evolved from there, because I had somebody who one of my best friends in college, she taught me how to make hats. And so instead of rectangle things, now we can make things in the round, and we would donate those hats to cancer patients. And then after college graduation, when I was like, hey, I don't have like any homework anymore, I can go to work and come home and do whatever I wanted. So I just really learned how to do different stitches, and I think the first big thing that I taught myself was how to do cables, because I thought that was so interesting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I learned how to do cables, and then in doing that, I don't have it here, but I designed like an ear warmer pattern. And that was just something that I could just make with cables over and over again. And then I would gift that to family and friends for Christmases. And then I made a cabled hat. And that was also something like I never wrote these patterns down. It was just always like muscle memory and all of that. But then fast forward to now we've moved to Tennessee, and I I think it was just before I had Griffin. I was like, I want to do something with crochet where it's not just for fun. I want to make money doing this. Maybe I'll do craft fairs or, just establish something so that I'm known as the crochet lady in my neighborhood. And then so I was planning on like selling my things. And I did a couple markets, and I soon realized I do not like making the same thing over and over again.
Oh,
and I do not.
No.
And I do not like taking like custom pieces where like people are like, oh, could you make this like stuffed animal dog for me? And could you, make this, it was those pocket scarves. I had so many orders for pocket scarves, and I've never made a single one, even though people were like, I have a whole list of people who wanted them. And I was just like, I realized once somebody was like, make this for me, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And
No.
I hated to crochet.
Yes.
So I was like, I guess that's not for me.
That's not my niche.
Yeah. And then through COVID times, all the digital, I don't know, being on the internet, I found Pam Grice, the crochetpreneur, and joined her Crochetpreneur Business Academy. And still with the intention of, I'm going to sell the things. But then she was also talking about this designing world. And I'm like, what? That's like a thing? You can make money? So yeah, then I just started designing things, and we went from there. And now I fully am just a designer, and people, always ask me to make things, and I'm like, sorry. Finally learned to set some boundaries around that.
That was a whole sentence.
Yeah.
Well, with 3 little kids, boundaries are super important, especially if you want to get anything done. So, and be a great mom at the same time. So absolutely. That's a great story. I love that.
It is. Priorities are your priorities.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, so we did ask a couple of these things. But how
Well,
long?
I was wondering, go ahead, Biz.
No, you go ahead. Mine probably was a bad question.
No, it wasn't. So now that you're into designing, you've decided that making is not your thing. And I totally get that. Embrace it. Love it. What is your favorite part about designing?
Ooh. I mean, I think my favorite part is coming up with the idea and then like starting to make it. Because usually I do that and then I like write the thing down after it's like made. And so I don't really have a great process with that because I'm not like organized and I don't have systems in place. I'm just like, here's my idea, and I make it up, and I'm like, okay, how do I tell other people how to?
Now, what do we do? That
let's reverse engineer it now.
Yeah, so that's terrible because then my testers and I, we go through a lot of hiccups because they're like, what are you trying to say here?
Yeah, right.
So with Mosaic Crochet, it's pretty chart based. So I do go on and I use Stitch Photo and I like play around and I, sort of paint with those pixels and make it out that way. So at least that then has more of a system, and I don't have to start from scratch every time I try to write it down. But
right. And with Mosaic Crochet, there's kind of a certain way to write it. It's not your typical single crochet in this stitch and chain 1 and whatever. There's a process, a Mosaic Crochet process, but then the way the pattern is written kind of connects the chart with the written word, but it's not typically how you would read a pattern. So describe a little bit about, I know it's hard to do without the words in front of us, but describe how you would write a pattern for a chart in Mosaic Crochet.
Yeah. So typically, like I said, first I make the chart, and then I get the written instructions from there. And usually when you're reading a chart, like for a tapestry project or corner to corner, you're reading and it's all, it's hard to know how to describe it. But when you change colors in the chart, you're changing colors with your yarn, and it just, that's how it usually works when you're doing with the chart. With Mosaic Crochet, it's each row, you're just using one color. So you never do color changes mid-row. It's just one color per row, and then you fasten off and you start back again on the right side and just work on the right side only and not, we don't turn our work or anything for overlay mosaic crochet. There are different kinds of
Gotcha.
crochet. But then I just use 2 stitches in the body of the work, and you just do a back loop only single crochet. So whenever there's the color that you want, see, I'm terrible at explaining this. So back
Well,
loop only single
there's
crochet.
one of those stitches is used for the color that you want to show on the right side, and the other one is pushed to the back, right?
Yeah. So the back loop only is kind of the one that's pushed to the back. And you can generally see that one as well. But if you crochet over the color you don't want to see, you do like a front loop only double crochet. And that sort of hides the color. So I do a lot of like red and white. So if I want to hide the red, I just crochet with white over the top of it.
Because the red actually makes the picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect example.
Perfect example. So here we go. This is my mosaic gingerbread blanket, and we have these candy canes.
Yes.
So so this red I'm crocheting over the white in order to get the outline of the candy cane.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's something I've learned to do, but I haven't done it enough to I can actually do it well.
Yeah, same.
Sure.
Forget about writing it. I mean,
oh no. Sorry, girls.
No, I think we're fine.
We're here. It'll catch up.
Okay. Yeah, just give it a second.
Okay. So I think I missed a question.
No, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So Erin, one of the things that just blows my mind is you're fastening off after every row, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with all of those ends that are produced? Because there's not, everybody hates weaving in ends. Let's just be honest, right? So what do you do with those at the end of your process?
Yeah. So let me show you a little before and after. So, here is what she's talking about. When you fasten off, you have all these ends at the end, and then over there, at the beginning and the end, you have all of those ends, and nobody wants to weave those in. Some people do, I will say that, and they just weave them in, and that's totally fine. So what you could do is just leave them out as fringe, cut them all the same length. And I've seen some really cool blankets that way, or I have a scarf pattern coming out that's like that, where I'm just leaving the ends out, and that's just part of the design. I've seen some, I don't have anything right here, but where you can twist them together and you get this fun, like twisted fringe look.
Yeah.
It's, that's another look. But what I do for my blankets mostly is I create an envelope border. And so that's what I've done here, where I've trimmed the ends. I've trimmed the ends, and then I created 2 borders and seam them together so that
that's brilliant.
All of the ends just live inside. And so I definitely like doing that a lot better than weaving in ends, but then it takes longer than you think it's going to take, because a border itself just takes longer than you think it should.
Yeah, it's double the work, isn't it?
And then now you're doing 2 borders, and so
and then you seam it.
Right. So it does take a bit of time, but
so what you're saying is a mosaic blanket is a commitment.
It's a commitment. I do want to design like a vertical, or change it the other way so that the ends can be on the top and the bottom.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Have it be like, the fringe in there, but it's a commitment, and I'm getting really close on this one to the envelope border, and I'm just like, okay, just like myself in it. We can do it. I got it.
So is the gingerbread blanket something that's already out for you, or is that something that's coming?
Yeah, it's already out. It was released earlier in the fall, 2024. Okay. And I am running it as a crochet along that's free on my website.
Okay.
And so the free version is not completely out yet. It will be by Christmas this year. Or you can just go ahead and purchase the full pattern, and it's just available forever. I'm hoping soon that it'll be available to buy like as a book, like on Amazon and all that. So hopefully we can get that done.
Yes. That'd be nice.
That would be fabulous. In that book, I would assume that you would include a lot of technical stuff about how to do overlay mosaic, as well as the pattern and pictures. It's a lengthy pattern, so
Yeah.
it is full book. Yeah.
Debbie has tech edited this pattern, so she knows the length of the pattern.
How many pages was that? 30 pages, 40 pages?
Yeah.
30 to 40.
Yeah. It was a lot.
That's awesome.
And I mean, there's a lot of good information in there. I also, the back of a mosaic pattern is these fun stripes, but you can kind of see the pattern.
It's kind of reversible, yeah.
Yeah, peeking through there. But for this pattern, I've like made this one kind of fully reversible, or it's like inverse on the back. So I've added an extra stitch, the negative stitch, to make it like reversible, so you can kind of see the shadow of the image on the front. So there's like a couple different ways that I do it, just kind of depending on
how ambitious.
How ambitious you're feeling, because to tell yourself you can do this pattern, as a crocheter, like, oh, I want to make that blanket, like telling yourself you can do it is like almost the hardest part, because you're just like, there's like that block where it's like, that's too good, I'm not good enough to make that. Once you like make up a little swatch and realize, okay, it's just single crochet and double crochet, and you just it follows a rhythm, then you're like, okay, that's good. So that's why it's kind of fun to have the two different versions.
Kind of like tackling cables for the first time. Right. When you haven't done them before, they look really intimidating, but you get over that fast once you understand the construction. One thing I did want to say though is that you've mentioned that you'd like to turn the gingerbread into a book. Speaking of books, you also have another one, don't you?
I do. I have a coloring book. I got it right here. It's called The Crochet and Color.
Oh,
cute. Coloring book for crocheters and their kids, really. So I've talked about my kids on here already, but
that's fun.
They want to be involved in my crochet stuff. They want to pick up my hook and do it for me. They're just not quite ready to learn yet, or I'm not ready to teach them. I'm not sure which one it is.
Oh, they're kind of little.
Yeah. Piper, I don't know. She's 3, but I feel like if I was patient enough, she'd be like, do. So it's fun to give this to them, and while I'm crocheting, they can feel like they're being part of it. So I've got some fun, like,
I love it.
Textures in there, and then I also have like fun little, play with yarn.
Oh, that's cute.
Stuff like that. So Granny Square Don't Care.
This is something that's available on your website, or is this available on Amazon?
Yeah, so this is available on Amazon. And I'll give
Crochet and Colors.
Yeah. Well, we've got all your links, so we're going to make sure all of that information is going to be in the description of this show, so that they can find you wherever. And all of the stuff that we're talking about today too, we've got links for all of that, so they'll know where to go. But just make sure you're looking in the description if you're watching this episode, because she really has a lot of amazing resources. One other thing that you have is your mosaic course.
Yes, I do. So I have what's called my mini mosaic e-course. That's a course that you can pay for, sign up for, and then you have access to the whole content right in my learning platform. And it's kind of just we don't go too far in depth, but I give you some charts and some swatches that you can work up to learn how to do it, and then I give you more resources, like point you to my other patterns and blankets that you can make. There's YouTube videos and there's pictures, so depending on which way you like to learn, I've got that for you, as well as the written instructions, of course.
Okay, that's great, because everybody needs some place to start.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys, the audience who's watching, you can get $10 off of that e-course, and that's included in the little link there. So
yes.
Oh, sweet. So we'll include that. That I'll have to check it out, because is there a coupon code that they can use for that?
I think so. The coupon code would just be mosaic, but I think the link already includes it in there.
Gotcha. So if they use that link, they get that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure
Sweet.
you
Oh,
get the
that's
link in the
awesome.
description.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any questions, Deb?
Well, I was just wondering, we're at the end of 2024, and if you're like me, I mean, I already downloaded my productivity planner and I'm planning out 2025,
Yeah.
right? So what kinds of things do you, special projects, pie in the sky dreams, what you want to do with your customers, what's on Erin's agenda dream list?
Well, Debbie, we know by now that you and I are not the same person.
Okay,
So,
so yes, I've planned out 2025. What have you done? And so I'm sorry if that's just me. But Erin,
so
what do you have thinking about for the future?
yes. So I've got those pie in the sky ideas. I do need to just kick my button gear and get it on paper and get it in the calendar so that it gets done, right? So in 2025, I want to start working on another book. I would
Nice.
like a mosaic crochet pattern book. And I need to decide what it's going to look like because I have like, oh, we could do all these blankets or
Yeah.
more. I'm like a blanket person, right? But I know that especially if you're just starting into mosaic, you're not really going to be like, okay, I'm going to commit to this whole freaking blanket. So, so things like scarves or baskets or
Yeah.
pot holders, these smaller, like more digestible patterns. So I think I want to focus on doing that.
Like quick fix patterns.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can become addicted to this like me.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want you addicted.
Of course, every winter I do like a new winter pattern, winter crochet along. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I might transform my patterns that I do have into like Christmas tree skirts, and kind of make a
Ooh,
collection
that
of
would
like
be
gingerbread
gorgeous.
or
Yes.
Nordic star patterns.
People are always looking for stuff like that as well, and for something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. So we shall see. I mean, I've just got so many ideas. You just guys have to,
Oh,
subscribe to my newsletter, be part of my
That's right.
community.
that's
So
right.
you
That's right.
And
So
sometimes it's too hard to think about what you do want to do because there's so many things you want to do. You're like,
well,
I want
that's just the thing. The list is miles long, and
it is.
that's why I'm trying to do it digitally because it's really easy to erase and move. Then
That's
I can adjust as life changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm afraid though, I know you use Asana and stuff like that. I just cannot get myself into it because I have to have that little piece of paper in front of me. I'm
Yeah.
a pen and pad kind of girl. So yeah, my list changes a lot over the year.
Well, I have my iPad and my Apple Pencil, so it's kind of like that. But I will say, just an FYI, there is always a piece of paper handy because sometimes my brain doesn't want to do digital.
Yeah.
So I still have that available.
Deb is like who I want to be when I grow up. She's so organized.
Yeah, sure. And then I should show you my office, and then you'd go, "Oh, wow, that bubble just burst." But
you know how we just got done having that I'm sorry. I'm totally derailing this thing. But we just had this month long about, cleaning up your space and all of that. And as soon as we turned on the camera, I'm like, "Oh my God, I've got all this." So I got to live what I preach, right?
Practice what you preach. That's right.
I'm right.
Yeah. Well, Erin, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I don't really know about sharing about what, my business. I will, because we're talking about like writing ideas down and having, a million ideas. I just went to this local, it was local to me, but there's people from all over the country. This women entrepreneurial conference this past weekend. And it was just speaking a lot. It's called a permission slip. So like giving yourself permission to do the things that you want to do, even though we tell ourselves these lies. That's like, oh, I can't do that, whatever. And so this goes back to the conversation about I need to go back to nursing because like I've made this commitment to help people. Then it's like, realizing like, no, like crochet, like I'm helping all of these people. I get all these emails about all the different ways that, my patterns have like changed their lives. And, like, I'm changing lives through yarn. Like, I feel like crochet changed my life and now I can help other people with that. And so I was in the shower the other day. And so I'm going to say this here because it's just so maybe somebody will hold me accountable. Like this idea in the shower was collecting different stories about how yarn has changed people's lives and making that into some sort of book. I don't know. So that was hard to say, but
yarn is a very strange but very amalgamating platform because there are so many different walks of life that use this one medium, and you have no idea where that person is at when your pattern hits them. And I, like you, have received many emails over the years like, thank you so much, I needed this. I give a lot of my patterns away for free on my blog. I've had so many little old ladies be like, thank you so much for making this toy pattern free. I didn't know what I was going to do for Christmas for my grandkids. It's just, that's the kind of stuff that keeps driving me.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I have a little special folder in my inbox that's for those, so I can go back.
Awesome. Oh, that's sweet. Like, yeah.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we're pretty much to the chit chat portion of this. So I'm excited for everybody to know who you are, Erin, and I'm really glad that you joined us today. What else have you got going on in your life besides Mosaic Crochet?
Ooh, so we're just going to chit chat.
Yeah.
I mean, besides my kids and crochet, that just seems to be about it. No, I love to travel. And I have not left the country since my oldest, I was pregnant with him. We lived in Africa for a year, and I came back pregnant with him, and I haven't left the country since then. And like, I started traveling when I was little. Like I was 13 and I went to Japan with like a group of friends.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a pretty big deal. But next month, before Christmas, for our anniversary, we're going to Mexico and staying at a resort, and I'm super excited to start
nice. That's
traveling again, adventures and all that.
Yeah.
With the world kind of opening up again after all of COVID stuff that happened, and everybody's finally beginning to spread their wings and fly.
Fly. So we like traveling and hiking with my kids and playing board games.
Board games are our jam.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite board games? Because we were kind of looking for some new ones.
We've gotten hung up on Sequence lately, just because it's a really simple one with cards, and you just put you don't have to think while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, one of my favorites is Catan, and there's another one and I can't remember what it is, but we either do like basic Parcheesi, that kind of stuff, just because. Simple things where, you do kind of have to pay attention, but we get to gabbing so much that we don't want to have to like be really thinking or paying attention to whose turn it is.
Exactly. When I was in college, not only did we crochet to not study, but we also played pinochle.
Oh, my mom and dad were big on pinochle.
Yeah, we had like a weekly pinochle night, and it was like not like a weekend, it was like Monday nights or something ridiculous where we would stay up way too late playing pinochle and drinking coffee. Like, why would we anyway?
We're in college, and that's what you do.
We're in college, yeah. And so I missed that. Like, I always think about that time and how much fun it was. So I taught some of the women in my neighborhood how to play pinochle. So we've been trying to do like monthly or like bi-monthly, like every 2 weeks. Pinochle night, but then we're also like moms. So I don't know when I think we last really played before school started. So
boy.
Like, we keep on like planning it, and someone's like, oh, someone's sick, or we've got basketball practice, or so trying to make that happen.
Well, that's fun. I have nothing. All of my kids, the only thing I have going on now is I have a new grandbaby, and she of course has a mom, so I don't have to do all the stuff anymore. She's been fun. It's been really fun.
Well, that's what grandparenting is all about.
Yes.
You've done all the schleppy work when you were raising your kids.
Yeah, but
Now you get the fun and then give them back.
You're back to doing schleppy work with yours.
Well, I'm not changing diapers. They're 14 and 12, so that would be awkward. Yeah, I'm running them around, spending a lot of gas money, but they're, it's fun to actually have grandchildren who can converse with you on some pretty deep topics, like why did the Eagles running back run that play? Stuff like that.
Those are the deepest.
No, my oldest grandson is a history nerd, and oh my goodness, he just studies maps and flags. And if I have a question about U.S. history, which isn't often, but I try more often, he knows the answer. So I don't change diapers. I just ask questions.
There you go. Yeah, I just meant like the schleppy, like just, there's still the work to do. I love the fact that I get to be hands-on and I get to be a part of her everyday life. I never anticipated that when I became a grandma, I was going to have her living with me and stuff. You just don't expect that, but it's been really a good experience. So, but anyway, I get to enjoy what my daughter was.
Oh, I am not in that phase of life. I am doing
all the schlepping.
I got the schluppies.
You're the queen of schlep.
All right. We digress.
We do, but we always do. So anyway. Other than that, I guess we're pretty much at the end of our conversation with Erin. Do you have any TV shows that you like to watch?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you watch?
I watch a lot of different things. So something that's been coming up on my, feeding me ads, Starz has started refeeding me ads because Outlander is coming back.
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
And so I'm really excited for Outlander to continue. I like watching, something that I like to watch while I crochet is Gilmore Girls. That's just a nice, cozy show.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Cameron and I, my husband, we're watching Shrinking on Apple TV.
Okay. Yep.
So it's got Jason Segel, is that his name? The best friend on How I Met Your Mother.
Uh-huh.
And he's a shrink. He's a therapist, and it's just kind of a fun dramedy about that. So those are kind of what I'm watching these days. I just finished watching Emily in Paris, and just anything. You got any recommendations?
Sounds fun.
Oh gosh, I'm not the girl for that because I don't think that our lines up. I'm more of a horror and dead people kind of show.
Yeah, I do like watching cult documentaries.
Aren't those interesting?
They are. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm drawn into things like that. It's like, why do I want to know this?
I know, it's so true. It's just fascinating to see how people just get wrapped up into it, and you're like, oh, maybe am I in a cult? I don't know that.
No. No, you're not.
I'm in a crochet cult,
Okay, well, in that case, yes. We're a weird bunch. Yes, we are.
Weird bunch.
Okay. We embrace our weirdness. All right. So we have loved talking with you. Deb, do you want to share anything that you like to watch? Like, we already know that you're a murder bunch girl too.
True crime.
Yeah, but it's mostly network stuff like NCIS, and we've started watching a really fun show called High Potential, about this completely dysfunctional woman who's super duper smart, and she happens on helping a police department solve their crimes with all of the hilarity that goes with this. And she's just hilarious. We've really enjoyed that. And Matlock, So I'm
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
a,
started watching that. That one's kind of cute.
yep, I'm a network kind of girl at the
Yeah.
moment.
We're rewatching Monk, and I've really been enjoying watching the transformation of his character over the years. You know, after they got rid of the original Sharona, who was his original assistant, and then brought in Natalie, who was his second assistant, and how that changeover really helped to open him up as a person. I really enjoy it more now watching it than the first time I watched it. So
Ooh, I should start that again.
Monk is a good one.
I like
It's on
Monk.
Peacock.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Alrighty. Well, we are going to say adieu, farewell, and thank you so much for joining us on our episode this week, Erin. And I'm glad that you shared everything about you. Like I said before, all of her information is going to be in our description box below the video, and you can get any of the information. And don't forget that you are getting it's $10 off the e-course.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already in the link. So use the link in the description so that you don't have to go find a coupon code. Just click the link.
Yep.
All right.
Subscribe, check out the website, do all the things, be there, be square, all of the stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. This has been a joy.
Thanks, Erin. All right. Bye-bye.